Hi guys, this is Simon Sage from Into Mobile. We're taking a look at the BlackBerry Bold 9930. It's coming soon to Verizon and a bunch of other carriers worldwide. As you can see, it's very similar to kind of the old BlackBerry Bold style. We got a nice fretted keyboard there. It's actually the biggest keyboard to date. It's very comfortable to use if you're used to sending a lot of emails, text messages, instant messages, all that stuff. So just a quick hardware tour to start off. We got micro USB slot on the side here, 3.5mm headphone jack. On the rear we've got LED flash and a 5-megapixel camera that's capable of 720p video recording. On this side we've got a volume rocker, and they've repositioned the mute, pause, play key to go right in between there. It makes pretty good sense. And down here we've got a convenience key that by default is mapped to the camera, but you can change that up as you will. Up top we have the single lonely lock key, and down here on the bottom we have a charging contacts which work with charging docks, all wirelessly, which is kind of nice. So underneath the hood we've got a 1.2 gigahertz processor. We got a 2.8-inch display with a 640 by 480 resolution screen, so that's pretty good by BlackBerry standards. It's about par for course for smartphones in general. So you can see it's very responsive, much smoother than what you might already be used to on a BlackBerry. There's 768 megabytes of RAM in there, but only about 190 megs of it are dedicated to application storage. Anyway, so let's dive right in here to, let's say, the browser. You'll pull up into mobile.com. Boom. So right now I am on EVDO. I'm roaming up here in Canada, but even still, this all loads up pretty quickly. A little bit of checkerboarding. The GSM version of this is HSPA Plus capable. That means 14.4 megabits per second, which is pretty snappy and actually makes a pretty big difference in the browser. Even still, pinch to zoom here is pretty good. Pretty responsive. No flash support, so you'll still have to deal with the limitations there, mostly for inline video. So for embedded YouTube videos, you won't see them. You'll have to pull them up on the mobile YouTube site, and even then some YouTube videos are not allowed for mobile viewing. So that's a little bit too bad. We can pull up the camera application here. The camera is actually an extended depth of field deal, so for up close shots like on my finger here, they aren't going to turn out well, but the shot to shot delay is really short. So for stuff that's further out, if you've got a couple of meters of space, the camera's alright, and like I said earlier, 720p video recording ain't too shabby. What else have we got here? Obviously there's the email application. That's kind of what BlackBerry is best known for. Very snappy, very responsive. The Messages application is actually a really great place for getting all sorts of correspondence. You get Twitter plugged in there, you get Facebook, you get all the instant messaging clients, Google Talk, AIM, Windows Live Messenger, all that stuff. So that's pretty cool. One of the new additions to the BlackBerry OS 7 is 3D graphics handling through OpenGL. Traditionally, only a couple of CDMA BlackBerries supported 3D graphics, and now it's going to be across all the new devices, which is kind of nice. They can take advantage of the high-speed processor here. I mentioned the application memory earlier. While you might think that limits 3D games like this one, BlackBerry does let you load up textures and other graphics on the SD card separately, so that's alright. I'll just give you a quick look here at how well this will perform. I've tried this game a little bit, and it's not particularly complicated. It's using the accelerometer to figure out how fast I want him to go, so I can slow him down there, speed him up again. So yeah, I usually just blast them all the way through here. So not too shabby as far as BlackBerry goes. You know, we definitely aren't used to seeing this caliber of graphics, although for Android or iPhone users it might be kind of old hat. So that is 3D graphics. The one other thing I want to show you guys is augmented reality. It's enabled by a new magnetic compass that's included here. It basically allows the BlackBerry to tell which location or which direction you're facing. Here we go. And by doing so, if you point your phone's camera in a certain direction, it will pull up pertinent data. So, for example, Foursquare spots or panoramic pictures, or even BlackBerry Messenger friends if they're signed on to the same service here. So, you can try this out here. Everyone can see where I am, that's fine. So, you've got a couple different layers here. I could pull up Wikipedia. It'll take a second to load everything up. Now, this is the calibration screen. You gotta. This actually comes up pretty often, where you just have to get the compass to figure out which side is up and which side is down. Kind of funky. People will give you funny looks on the bus. There we go. So after a quick calibration, we've got that all running here, and as you can see, as we tilt the camera, it shows us some information. Let me just see what's out this way, whatever that is. So yet that's the glebe out there. We can tap that and it pulls up the Wikipedia article with some pertinent information. Pretty handy stuff, not too shabby. Very unique way of kind of figuring out what's going on around you, and generally pretty great for discoverability, especially if you're in a new city that you're not necessarily used to or know anything about. The last thing I want to show you guys is the universal search using voice. RIM has had universal search from the home screen since last year. We just start typing and results would pop up from around the web or on your device. In OS 7 they've got a new feature that allows it to be voice activated. So you just have to tap up here. Pizza, Ottawa. You have to hit the done button there, which isn't particularly great, especially if you're trying to do some hands-free stuff with the car. But one interesting thing here is that Microsoft and RIM have struck up a partnership where Bing is now the default search engine for basically everything on BlackBerry. I'm more of a Google guy for sure, so could not locate us because we're indoors here, but pulls up some pizza places around town here. We can tap through on here, and we've got directions here, and we can call them right away. We can favorite them, all sorts of kind of standard stuff. I'm not a huge fan of Bing Maps because there's no transit directions, but this is definitely passable. It is tricky to get Google as kind of the new default on here for a lot of stuff, and BlackBerry Maps hasn't really been updated in a while. You can't really pinch to zoom for stuff on Google Maps for BlackBerry, so not awesome, but that's Bing Maps here. No pinch to zoom there either, but again, there's voice activated search that's built right in there. Kind of cool. So overall, the BlackBerry Bold 9900, it's still a very iterative upgrade. It's still kind of the BlackBerry experience that you're used to. The nicer screen and the upgraded processor make it kind of a smooth, visually rich experience, and the metal bezel here around the outside actually adds a lot of durability and feels really nice. But overall, this isn't going to be a massive change for BlackBerry. So I'm not entirely sure if those who are interested in Android or iPhone would be hugely swayed by this upgrade. Anyway, be sure to swing by intomobile.com for our full review.